Picture this. It's the 25th of the month. You've got 5 days until payday. You check your bank account and there's $87 sitting there. You need gas, you need groceries, and your friend just texted asking if you want to grab dinner this weekend. So what do? You tell yourself, once I start making more money, then I'll get serious about managing it properly. Right now, I'm just trying to survive. Here's the thing. That's exactly backwards, and it's the reason that most people never build wealth, no matter how much their income increases. My name is Richo, and I spend way too much time thinking about why broke people stay broke and rich people get richer. If you're someone who feels like you're constantly living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how hard you work or how many raises you get, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, I'm going to show you exactly how wealthy people manage their money. And here's the plot twist. Most of these strategies work even better when you're broke. Yeah, you heard that right. Look, we need to address the elephant in the room right away. Most people think the reason they can't manage money is because they don't make enough of it. And I get it, I really do. But here's what most people don't realize. There's a study from the National Endowment for Financial Education that found that about 70% of lottery winners end up bankrupt within just a few years. Think about that. These people went from broke to millionaires overnight, and they still couldn't manage money. Why? Because managing money isn't about how much you have. It's about the systems you build and the habits you develop. Here's another stat that'll blow your mind. According to a survey by Salary Finance, 63% of Americans making over $100,000 a year still live paycheck to paycheck. 6 figures, and they're still broke by the end of the month. This is what I call the income illusion. We think if I just made $10,000 more a year, all my problems would be solved. But then you get that raise, and 6 months later, you're in the exact same position, just with a nicer car payment. So if income isn't the answer, what is? The wealthy understand something fundamental. Money management isn't about restriction, it's about intention. And that's the first shift we need to make. Here's where it gets really interesting. When you're broke, you manage money reactively. Something comes up, you deal with it. Your car breaks down, you figure it out. Credit card bill is due, you scramble. It's financial whack-a-mole, and you're always one emergency away from disaster. But wealthy people manage money proactively. They're not smarter than you. They're not working harder than you. They just play a completely different game. Let me give you a perfect example. The average person gets paid and thinks, okay, let me pay my bills, buy groceries, handle my expenses, and whatever's left over, I'll save. The wealthy person thinks, let me pay myself first, allocate my investments, then I'll live off what remains. See the difference? Same income, completely opposite approach. Now, you might be thinking, Richo, that's easy to do when you're already rich. I literally don't have anything left over to save. I hear you, but here's the thing. This isn't about the amount, it's about the habit. Warren Buffett has this famous quote, "Do not save what is left after spending. Instead, spend what is left after saving." And before you roll your eyes and think easy for him to say, remember that Buffett started applying this principle when he was delivering newspapers as a kid. He wasn't rich when he started thinking like this. He got rich because he started thinking like this. All right, so how do you actually do this? How do you manage money like you're already rich when your bank account is screaming at you? Here's the exact system, and I'm going to break this down with real numbers so you can see how this works at any income level. Wealthy people don't budget in the traditional sense. They allocate. And here's the framework they use. 50 to 60% for essentials like rent, utilities, groceries, transportation. 10 to 20% for financial freedom, that's savings and investments. 10 to 15% for education and growth. 10 to 15% for lifestyle and enjoyment, and 5 to 10% for giving. Now look, these are guidelines, not handcuffs, but here's what's crucial. Notice that savings and investments come before lifestyle spending. This is the game changer. Let's run the math on someone making $3,000 a month after taxes. I know that's not a lot in today's economy, but stay with me. Using this framework, $1,650 for essentials, that's 55%. $450 for financial freedom, that's 15%. $300 for education and growth, 10%. $450 for lifestyle, 15%. And $150 for giving, 5%. But Richo, I can't afford to save $450 a month. Here's what I want you to understand. The wealthy mindset says, I can't afford not to, because here's the brutal truth. If you can't make it work on $3,000 a month, you won't magically make it work on $5,000 a month. You'll just have more expensive problems. This is where most people fail. They have good intentions, but intention without automation is just a wish. Wealthy people set up their money to work automatically. The day their paycheck hits, money automatically moves to different accounts. They never see it. They never have to think about it. They never have to rely on discipline. Here's how you set this up, even if you're broke. Open multiple bank accounts. Most banks let you do this for free. You need a main checking account where your paycheck lands, a bills account, a freedom account for savings and investments, and a lifestyle account. The moment your paycheck deposits, set up automatic transfers. Move your allocation for bills to your bills account. Move your savings percentage to your freedom account. Move your lifestyle money to your lifestyle account. What's left in your main checking? That's your essentials money. Now here's the psychology behind this. When you separate your money physically, you create mental barriers that protect your financial future. It's so much harder to raid your savings when it's in a completely different account. Look, I know Dave Ramsey says you need $1,000 for a starter emergency fund, and that's fine. But here's what wealthy people actually do. They keep their emergency fund in a high-yield savings account, earning interest. Right now, you can find accounts paying 4 to 5% APY. That's free money just for keeping your emergency fund in the right place. Let's say you build up a $5,000 emergency fund over time. In a regular savings account earning 0.01%, you make about 50 cents a year. In a high-yield account at 4.5%, you make $225 a year. Same money, different location, extra $224 in your pocket. The wealthy optimize everything. They're not leaving money on the table, and neither should you. Here's where we need to talk about the elephant in the room, lifestyle inflation. There's this concept in economics called the hedonic treadmill. Basically, it means that no matter how much more money you make, you quickly adapt to it and return to your baseline level of happiness. You get a raise, you're excited for 2 weeks, then you buy a nicer apartment, lease a better car, start eating out more, and boom, you're back to feeling broke, just at a higher income level. Wealthy people break this cycle by doing something counterintuitive. They live below their means even when they can afford more. Here's a wild example. Mark Zuckerberg, worth over $100 billion, drove a Honda Fit for years. Warren Buffett lives in a house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. These aren't cheap people, they're intentional people. Now, I'm not saying you need to live like a monk, but here's the principle. Every dollar you spend on lifestyle today is a dollar that can compound into wealth tomorrow. Let me show you what I mean with real math. If you're 25 years old and you decide to spend an extra $200 a month on a car payment to impress people, that's $2,400 a year. But if you invested that $200 a month in a basic index fund averaging 10% annual returns, by the time you're 65, that would be $1,266,000. You read that right, over $1 million for a car that'll be worthless in 10 years. This is what the wealthy understand. Every spending decision is actually an investment decision. All right, enough theory. Let's talk about what you're going to do this week to start managing money like you're already rich. Action step 1, calculate your real monthly income after taxes. Write it down. Action step 2, map out your allocation using the framework I gave you. Don't worry about being perfect, just get started. Action step 3, open those separate bank accounts today. Most banks let you do this online in 10 minutes. Action step 4, set up automatic transfers for the day after your paycheck hits. Start with whatever percentage you can handle, even if it's just 5% to savings. That's 5% more than most people.
Action step 5, find a high-yield savings account and move your emergency fund there. Literally search high-yield savings accounts 2025 right after this video. Action step 6, track your spending for 30 days, not to judge yourself, but to get real data. You can't manage what you don't measure. Here's the thing, this isn't going to be comfortable at first. You're going to have to tell yourself no to things you used to say yes to. You're going to have friends who don't understand why you're not going out as much. You might have to skip some lifestyle upgrades. But here's what I need you to understand. Every wealthy person you admire went through this exact same phase. The difference is they pushed through the discomfort. Look, managing money like you're already rich when you're broke isn't about deprivation. It's about playing the long game. The wealthy understand something that most people never learn. Being broke is temporary if you make the right decisions, but being poor is a mindset that keeps you trapped forever.
You can make $30,000 a year and build wealth if you manage it like a rich person. Or you can make $300,000 a year and stay broke if you manage it like a poor person. The choice is literally yours. Start today. Not next month when you get that bonus, not next year when you get that promotion, today. Because here's the final truth. The best time to start managing your money properly was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. If this video helped shift your perspective on money management, smash that like button and drop a comment telling me which action step you're implementing first. And if you want more content on building wealth, investing strategies, and breaking free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. I'm Richo, and I'll see you in the next one.